So I decided to share the story behind the Ember blanket in a little bit more of a vlog style. The Ember blanket, such a special, special blanket. If you follow me on Instagram, you might have seen me sharing last year about a mama who was just reaching out for help and support of this little girl with Down syndrome who was all the way on the other side of the world. She lives in Oregon. This little girl was in Armenia, and it was just, it got so involving for me that I felt like she was my little girl. You know, it was just such a really cool story, and I grew an attachment. And whenever I was making pumpkins last year with my girls, we sold little crochet pumpkins as a way for them to earn some money. But I just happened to make this blanket, and I just felt, you know, just as a Christian, like God just putting it in my heart to tell her that if she wanted to share it with her followers, that I was going to make anyone that wanted one a blanket, and 50% of the proceeds we would donate to another adopting family that needed financial assistance, because at that point they had raised all the money they needed to get their little girl, and I wanted to be a part of the process. So that's how the Ember blanket came to be. I made hundreds of Ember blankets. It was the most incredible thing in the world. And we were able to send a big chunk of money over to a family that is adopting a little girl from China who also has Down syndrome. And just precious families, precious babies, so special. And I just wanted to be able to share the blessing of the Ember blanket now with other makers who can make them and gift them and use them themselves. And yeah, it just got a special place in my heart, and I am so thrilled to be able to share it with you. And now you can make Ember blankets too. So I hope you guys enjoy it. Alrighty friends, so today I am showing you how to make the Ember blanket using this super fun Bernat Casa yarn. I did a full yarn review for Thursday Thread Reviews, which I will link down below. So the first thing you're going to need is obviously some of this yarn, linked down below, and a good crochet, or rather Tunisian crochet hook, and I am using this 12mm. These are my favorite to use for blankets because the cord is super long, as you can tell, and it's wood. And this is a fun little store that I found on Amazon, and I'll link them down below. They have entire sets, and I really just think it's good quality. It's a great price, and these are my favorites for Tunisian blankets. So to begin, if you've never done Tunisian before, the beginning of it starts just like regular crochet. You're going to make a slip knot, and you're going to chain up however many your pattern calls for. Now the Ember blanket information is linked down below. There is one size available for free on my blog. The PDF contains 6 sizes. Now one thing that you'll notice, and I talked about this in my review, is this yarn is full of multiple yarns, so it's going to have a lot of textures. And in this particular skein, we're starting off with what looks very similar to Lion Brand homespun, but this is of course a Bernat yarn, therefore it can't be homespun, but it's their version of that same yarn. Now the trick here with this is certain textures are going to require you to feel for the stitches, just because it's kind of hard to see. You've got a lot of things going on. So one thing I want to do once I've changed the correct amount, you're just going to kind of find those stitches. You're going to go in the second chain from the hook, just like you would normal crochet. So you'll insert into that chain, yarn over, and draw up a loop. But here's where it's different. Rather than yarning over and pulling through 2 like in regular crochet, we're just going to leave that loop there. Then we're going to go into the next stitch, yarn over, draw up a loop. Go into the next stitch, yarn over and draw up a loop. Next stitch, yarn over, draw up a loop. And as you can see, we're starting to get a nice little collection of loops on our hook. So this is our first pass on this row, and we're just inserting our hook into the specified stitches, yarning over and drawing up all the loops. This is where you can kind of see why I have explained it before that Tunisian crochet is like crochet and knitting had a baby. So we've got all of our loops on our hook, and we're just making a little Ember blanket swatch. So what we're going to do now is what's called the standard reverse row. This is really, really simple. You're going to yarn over, pull through one loop, and then for every other stitch, it's yarn over, pull through 1, 2 loops. Yarn over, pull through 1, 2 loops. And just yarn over and pull through 2 loops at a time. So this particular row is worked the same way every single time unless indicated by the pattern designer. That very first stitch, it's a yarn over, pull through 1, and then every stitch all the way back to the beginning is yarn over, pull through 2, and you should be back at the beginning with just 1 loop on your hook. Now here's where it gets kind of tricky, and why I said with this particular yarn it's more of a feel for your stitches. So if I kind of pull stuff apart, you can notice right here, well, let me use the hook so you can see a little bit better. You can notice right here, there's kind of a vertical bar. That vertical bar is where we're going to be working. So this always just counts as your first stitch. You're not actually stitching down here. It's almost like your chain 1, if you will. So this, you've always got 1 stitch on your hook. So what you're going to do is you're going to slide your hook behind that vertical bar, yarn over and draw up a loop. Then slide behind the next vertical bar, yarn over, draw up a loop. Slide behind the next one, yarn over, draw up a loop. Just keep doing this all the way across as you work up the blanket. So we're just working in those front chains, or rather vertical bars, and we're going all the way across. Now when we get to the end, I'll kind of show you here how the last stitch is slightly different. So there's our last vertical bar, but we don't technically have a vertical bar. However, if you take your fingers, you can kind of feel that there's 2 strands of yarn right there, almost a V that you can kind of see. So if you use your fingers, you can kind of feel where that separation is, and you'll stick your hook right in there, yarn over, draw up a loop. And then it's standard reverse, yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2, making your way back across. Really simple and easy. And you just keep moving back to the beginning. And then we do it all over again. You find that vertical bar, you insert your hook, yarn over, draw up a loop, insert, yarn over, draw up a loop. Really simple and easy. Probably one of the easiest and fastest blankets to make. I can make a regular blanket in just a few hours. So this is one of my go-to patterns if I've got a baby shower that I might have forgotten about, you know, in a day, or even if it's the morning and I realize I have one and I've got a baby shower that night, I can work one up really, really fast. They're so snuggly. I just love these Ember blankets so much, and as I stated at the beginning of this video, it has an extra special place in my heart because of the sweet little girl who I made one of these for, gifted it to, and actually named after her. So Ember, even the name has a significant meaning for me. So that's literally all you do. Now let's say you're done with your blanket and you're ready to finish it off. Here's how you would finish it. Insert your hook into that vertical bar, yarn over, pull up a loop, and then pull through a loop. And I'll do that again to show you. So that one's closed off. You insert into the next bar, yarn over, pull through, pull through. So we're closing stitches off. You should always just have 1 stitch on your hook as you're working your way across. Just like that. And don't forget, when you get to the end, you want to make sure you go into that space. So again, if we look, we've got these 2 strands here, and I can kind of put my fingers through, insert my hook, yarn over, pull through. And then I would cut my tail and then weave in my ends. And let me grab a finished blanket just so you can see what it looks like. So here I have an Ember in this gorgeous neutral gray. It is so pretty. You can see all of the texture with the faux fur, the velvet, the blanket, and then kind of that homespun style yarn. And notice too, when you get into some of the yarns, those bars are a lot easier to see. And then this, the color that we were just working with, this is it, all made up. Just so pretty and so stunning. I love it so much. Well, lots of great squish and perfect for babies. Yes. Well, if you like this blanket, I really hope that you do. I hope that you find a little bit of joy in learning the story of this blanket. It really was such a delight and pleasure to be able to make this for that precious mama and that little baby girl that was brought back home across the world to be with her family. Just such a special thing to be a part of. So all the information is down below. You can get the PDF that has 6 sizes included, or you can get the one free size on the blog. The tools that I use, the yarn that I use, all of that good stuff is linked down below, and I'll also link my review video of this yarn if you just want a little bit more insight. And then you can just decide if you want to do the same blanket but with a different yarn. It's totally up to you. Alrighty, friends, I hope that you have had a lovely, lovely weekend and that you come back tomorrow, Monday, fresh and ready to learn another fun skill for your maker toolbox. With that being said, bye.